Hello everyone, good morning. I am Arpit and I am here with today's analysis. Today is 27th of August and we are going to cover only one topic today. But that topic is, very big in itself. An event which happened yesterday when our Prime Minister went and met the ISRO scientists who were there in the Team Chandrayaan 3. Now we are going to decode his speech which was delivered by him to those ISRO scientists. Now these kind of speeches, are they important for us as UPSC aspirants? Yes, definitely they are important for us. These speeches contain a lot of, I would say, content. They also reflect the mindset of the government. What they are planning, why they are planning, how they are going to do it, what have been the accomplishments, what have been the challenges. So from these viewpoints, these kind of speeches become important. They are important for your essay paper. They are important for your GS paper as well. GS mains, GS prelims both. Now, do we have to cover the speeches of every politician? No. The dignitaries who are, I would say, the president, prime minister, or let's suppose there is a summit or multilateral organization summit is there and our foreign minister is representing India. Then whatever speech he delivers over there on behalf of, the government of India. So we should be covering them. And that is how it becomes important. That is why it becomes important. And if you quote, basically excerpts from these speeches in your answers or in your essays, definitely your answers and essays will become unique. And uniqueness will definitely attract more marks. Hence, these become very important. Having said that, let's start. Now, the Prime Minister meets the ISRO scientists and the key highlights of his speech which he delivered over there. First of all, he named basically two places or 2 points on the surface of the moon. The first is the Shiv Shakti point and second is the Tiranga point. Shiv Shakti point is the point where the lander of Chandrayaan 3 successfully did the soft landing. Tiranga point is that point on which the lander crash landed of Chandrayaan 2. So, to commemorate the efforts of the scientists in Chandrayaan 2, Tiranga point has also been named. That is that place where the lander of Chandrayaan 2 crash landed. So, this is basically the 2 points. Then the next is emphasis on Nar Shakti. It is believed that there are around 54 scientists, 54 women scientists who were involved behind the success of Chandrayaan 3. And, commemorating their efforts, their contributions, the Prime Minister highlighted the importance of Nari Shakti. This is not the first time the Prime Minister is highlighting the importance of Nari Shakti. In Prime Minister's last year's speech, that is 2022's Independence Day, when we were celebrating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, then also the Prime Minister talked about Nari Shakti. So this clearly reflects the mindset of the government that how, keen the government is for women empowerment. And the participation of these Naris in the success of this mission, Chandrayaan 3, will definitely inspire thousands and lakhs of Naris in our country to take up scientific research or become scientists or excel in whatever pursuit they want to do. So that is why a special focus was on the Nari Shakti. Then National Space Day, 23rd of August has been declared as the National Space Day. That is that particular date on which the lander of Chandrayaan 3 successfully soft landed on the surface of the moon, that is South Pole of the moon. So this day will now be celebrated as, National Space Day. What is the significance of celebrating such a day? We'll discuss in this. Then capabilities of the space sector. This is very, very important. Now, the Prime Minister highlighted that the space sector is not only being used for launching satellites and all. We have goals beyond that. And those goals beyond that are, welfare of the people. He highlighted that the core purpose of scientific research should be welfare of the people. If the research is confined within the four walls of the labs, then that research is definitely not going to help us. Not going to help us in progressing as a society. So he clearly highlighted that the past space missions have definitely helped us in governance. And he linked, governance with space missions. He also highlighted a workshop way back conducted in 2015-16, where the secretaries of all the departments were invited and the scientists from ISRO were there. The Prime Minister himself was attending that workshop. And the main agenda of that workshop was to highlight the importance of space sector in governance. And hence there was a question also by UPSC mains. List out the recent space missions. Second part of the question was, what are the socio-economic impacts of these space missions? So understand the mindset of UPSC also, that how it is picking up or from where it is picking up questions to frame. And both of these are part of your syllabus. Space tech is part of your syllabus. Social issues, economic issues, all are part of your syllabus. UPSC just links various aspects of your syllabus and frames questions. And hence, you should be having this interlinking capability. If you do not have this interlinking capability, you will always be struggling. And I try my level best that in whatever sessions we do here, these half an hour, 45-minute sessions, I try to include, or I try to highlight the interlinking of various issues or various topics. If you start thinking in this direction, your content enrichment will automatically happen. Your answers will start fetching good marks or better marks. And, finally, in the exam, you will be able to perform well. It is just this you have to establish. So, our Prime Minister was talking about NAVIC, PM Gati Shakti Yojana, and he was also talking about the usage of space sector in this Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, in telemedicine, in tele-education. So this is how the space sector is being used in various other sectors, that is for the welfare of the society at large. So let us start. Now PM meets ISRO scientists. The place where he met the ISRO scientists, ISRO Telemetry Tracking and Command Network, ISTRAC, in Bangalore, after his return from Greece. Now he was also briefed about the findings and progress in the Chandrayaan-3 mission. The Chandrayaan-3's mission progress is, the rover has come out of the lander, traversing on the surface of the moon. Will be conducting various, I would say, experiments. The payloads are active, though there are two payloads which we discussed in yesterday's videos. So all these, briefings were given. He also turned emotional while, addressing the scientists, and we can see an emotional face of our Prime Minister over here, and he's doing a salute to the scientists. He said that salute to your hard work, salute to your, consistency, salute to your commitment. All these were key highlights of, he commemorating the scientists. Obviously, when such hard work is put in, especially after a failure, you need to be commended, or you need this kind of motivation. And they deserve it. Actually, they deserve it. So, highlights of the speech. This achievement heralds India's scientific power in infinite space. This is today's India, that is fearless and relentless. He went on to say that, we are now in those categories of people or those categories of countries which have, a rare feat attached to their name. We are the fourth to do the soft landing after Russia, USA and China. We are the first to do soft landing on the lunar south. No other country has done that. We're doing things, new things, and that too differently. How differently? It is a low cost project. Nobody could have imagined that only $75 million and we'll reach the moon. So this is basically fearless and relentless new India or today's India. Now entire world recognizes India's scientific spirit, technology and temperament. However, there have been various negative, I would say, publishings by the foreign media. Like there was a news reporter in England, UK. He was saying that if India is reaching the moon, spending so much money on this and not for eradicating poverty, the government of UK should stop providing aid to India, which the government is providing since 2016 or 17. And, he was thrashed badly on social media. Indians, they said that return Kohinoor first. You have looted us. We are taking our money back only from you. So, however, but many foreign leaders, they applauded India's, achievements. Keeping aside these 1-2 episodes, the explorations of the mission will open new doors of possibilities for moon missions for every country. Now we have this expertise, we have this knowledge how to do soft landing. We can help other countries also in moon exploration or space exploration missions. So this is going to be extending our soft power. Then the success of Chandrayaan 3 is not just India's alone, but it belongs to all of humanity. This, he said from South Africa also on 23rd of August, he reiterated this. And, whatever findings or whatever I would say revelations we will be having from Chandrayaan 3's rover lander, we'll definitely be using them for the betterment of humanity. And not only the humanity located in India, but the world community. Because we sincerely believe in the fact, Vasudev Kutumbakam. The world is our family. The mission would not only unravel the secrets of moon, but also contribute to overcoming challenges on Earth. Now there are many challenges we are facing on Earth. For example, climate change. So let's suppose we find some mineral on the moon which helps us in developing renewable technology or renewable energy technology. So we can go for extraction, exploration of such kind of minerals on moon because we've already reached there, and which will solve our problems on the Earth. So this he highlighted. Then he talked about the Shiv Shakti point and the Tiranga point. So the Shiv Shakti point, the point where the moon lander of Chandrayaan 3 landed. It will now be known as Shiv Shakti. Shiv on the name of Lord Shiva, Shakti, Ma Shakti, Lord Shakti. In Shiv there is resolution for welfare of the humanity, and Shakti gives us strength to fulfill those resolutions. The Shiv Shakti point of the moon also gives a sense of connection with Himalaya to Kanyakumari, the entire India. Shiv Shakti point of the moon will bear witness to this scientific and philosophical thinking of India. So, by combining them. Then, the Tiranga point, the point where Chandrayaan 2 left its footprints, will now be called as the Tiranga point. This point, the Prime Minister said, will serve as an inspiration for every effort that India makes, and remind us that failure is not the end. Success is a guarantee where there is strong willpower. And this is what I want to convey to you also as aspirants. If you fail once, try again. And try again with a better approach, with an improved approach, and with a better, I would say, will to succeed. After the failure of Chandrayaan 2, obviously, it was a low moment for the ISRO scientists. But that very same year, they started planning for Chandrayaan 3. This time, it was a failure-based design. Means they were considering all aspects of failure and they wanted to, successfully land the lander on the moon. For this purpose, they created an artificial moon in their research center in ISRO. And they were testing constantly the lander on that. Now just imagine, I would say, the mindset of the scientists, the will to succeed, the urge to succeed. This is what you need as aspirants. One behavioral, learning from this success of Chandrayaan 3 should be this. And your thoughts should not be only limited to Chandrayaan 3, but also you should be connecting the failure of Chandrayaan 2 and then followed by the success of Chandrayaan 3. So this should be the ideal mindset or an optimum mindset among you guys as well. Now emphasis on the Nari Shakti. Now when I talk about the Nari Shakti, there were around 54 women scientists who were there part of the mission. Scientists, engineers, directly, indirectly linked with the mission. And emphasizing the welfare core of the pursuit of science, the Prime Minister said that these pious resolutions need the blessings of Shakti, and that Shakti is our Nari Shakti. The women scientists, the country's Nari Shakti have played a big role, he emphasized. So this has been, I would say, or this can be an inspiration to thousands and thousands of women in India. Women who are socially, subjugated. They face a lot of discrimination. They are not allowed to, do studies beyond a point. They are not allowed to, take part in decision making of the family matters. They are not allowed to take part in economic activities. They are confined to the four walls of the homes. Patriarchy dominates. Now this is something which we, can use, I would say, as an event or as an episode, definitely to motivate, thousands and thousands of women, as well as to, positively, impact the mindset of those people who are of this mindset that they want to confine the women to the four walls of their homes. The beauty of, or I would say, if women are allowed to participate, pardon my words, because yes, this is a reality in a patriarchal society, they are not allowed. But if women are allowed, they can do wonders. They can, take you to the space they have. They can, increase your family incomes. All those families where women are working, their family incomes are almost the double. If not double, 1.8 times, 1.5 times increased family income is there. And those are considered to be better families. So we need to shed the dogmas here, and then we need to look forward for other things, for equality. And this is one such aspect. Then the National Space Day, 23rd of August, the day of soft landing of Chandrayaan 3 on the moon, will be commemorated as National Space Day. He said that National Space Day will celebrate the spirit of science, technology and innovation and inspire us for an eternity. Now, there are various days which we celebrate. World Environment Day, 5th of June, National Space Day, 23rd of August. What is the significance of such days? Now, such days are celebrated, first of all, to generate awareness among the people. There's an assumption that at least for that day, that person will get to know something new, or people will get to know something new about, let's suppose the space on 23rd of August. Let's suppose the importance of conservation of environment on 5th of June. And there can be a possibility that that person imbibes it and follows it, in his day-to-day life. So these are the basic purposes or significances of celebrating these kind of days, national days, international days. And obviously, the day chosen for that particular, event is basically commemorating one success of that event. Like for example, the World Environment Day is celebrated because, the world leaders for the very first time in 1972, the Stockholm Convention met for, discussing climate change. The UNEP, United Nations Environment Programme, was formed on that day, 5th of June. That is why every year, 5th of June is celebrated as World Environment Day. This 23rd of August, successful soft landing by lander Vikram on the lunar south. So this particular event on this day happened, and now from now onwards, this day will be celebrated as the National Space Day. Now, capabilities of the space sector. This is important. The Prime Minister noted that capabilities of the space sector are not only limited to launching satellites and space explorations, and it can strengthen and it can be seen in ease of living and ease of governance. Now, he mentioned the tremendous progress made to link space with governance. Now, questions from this particular aspect can be framed in UPSC as it has already been framed earlier also. Earlier, they were asking you about the application of space tech in socio-economic, benefits of the people. Now they can ask you application of space tech in governance. Obviously, governance will also lead to socio-economic upliftment of the people. But they can remold and ask questions or frame questions like these. So this was clearly highlighted by the Prime Minister in his speech. Now, which domains of governance have been impacted? We should know this also, because there are many domains of governance, almost each and every domain of governance which have been impacted. But the major of them which were highlighted by the Prime Minister: role of space technology in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Basically, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan's one of the prime objective is to create garbage-free cities. We see the mountains of garbage in many cities, big cities. So we definitely see in some tier 2, tier 3 cities also they are witnessed. So geotagging will be done, whether these mountains or heaps of garbage is there or not, to verify. And that geotagging will be done by satellite communication. That is how, space sector will also be helping in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. We'll also be seeing which house has a toilet or which does not have. Geotagging will be done. How many community toilets are there? Geotagging of those community toilets will be done. Their location will be tagged in whatever report it's being submitted, and location is obviously linked with satellite. Then education, tele-education is very much, I would say, in demand, especially after COVID. So this is very important. Communication, we have been using satellite communication, or we have been using, basically you see TV in your homes, DTH, direct to home, all due to satellite communications. And this communication can be useful. Like, for example, there is a program for farmers, for the welfare of the farmers, for letting the farmers know what kind of schemes are available for them. So that is also, will be communicated to the farmers through satellite communication on their TVs. Then health services to far-flung areas, telemedicine. Now there is a portal, e-Sanjeevani portal of the government. It is, a telemedicine portal. Telemedicine is what? A doctor sitting in the urban area can, look to patients, or patients can consult, patients in the rural area can consult doctors sitting in the urban area through video conferencing or, video calling. And that is all happening due to this telemedicine. Now, a new, or I would say a step which we are looking forward for in telemedicine is that the doctor sitting in the urban area who is doing, or who is, examining the patient in rural areas or in far-flung areas, that doctor can measure his pulse or the patient's pulse. That will also happen with satellite communication. It will definitely improve the healthcare system. Now, e-Sanjeevani is presently the telemedicine portal of the Government of India. In e-Sanjeevani, there is doctor to patient, one aspect. Another aspect is doctor to doctor. If doctors in the far-flung areas want to, want some advice or want some, I would say, expertise with a doctor in urban areas, they can go, they can take. Or let's suppose in the rural areas there is primary healthcare available, and in urban areas there is secondary and tertiary healthcare available, and a patient comes to the doctor in the rural area, requiring secondary or tertiary care. So this doctor can consult this doctor in the urban area who is an expert of secondary and tertiary care, and offer services or give or prescribe medicines to that person in rural areas. So these are the two aspects of e-Sanjeevani, which is presently the telemedicine portal of the government of India, and this has become popular after the COVID-19. Role of NAVIC system: navigation using Indian constellation and support during natural calamities. This basically is our GPS. Now we all use Google Maps. Google Maps is based on GPS. GPS full form geo positioning system. And geo positioning system is a navigation system of USA. We have developed our own navigation system in the form of NAVIC. Is it available on our phones? The government is pushing the smartphone makers to make it available on our phones. Is it being used for other purposes? Yes. What kind of purposes? We'll see. Then, space technology, also the basis of our PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan. PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan or PM Gati Shakti Yojana is basically a scheme for infrastructural development of the country, for giving a push to the infrastructural development. Now in today's session, we are going to elaborate on these two very important, I would say, aspects. A question in prelims 2023 was from here, NAVIC system. It is expected that a question from Gati Shakti National Master Plan can be asked in mains also. So we'll be elaborating on these two. First is NAVIC, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. It is also called as, or navigation with Indian constellation. Full form of NAVIC is this: IRNSS, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System. Key features: it is an independent standalone navigation satellite system which presently comprises 7 satellites. These 7 satellites, they will be, covering the entire country, as well as 1500 kilometers here, 1500 kilometers here. So we can have surveillance from those 7 satellites in this much area. Presently, do we have surveillance? Yes, we have, but we depend on GPS. That is the US navigation system. Okay. It is developed by ISRO. NAVIC was approved in 2006. It is expected to be completed by late 2011, but became operational in 2018 only. It got delayed. NAVIC covers the whole of India's landmass and up to 1500 kilometers from its boundaries. It has been recognized by International Maritime Organization as a part of worldwide radio navigation systems for operations in the Indian Ocean region 2020. So, if the international community wants surveillance or wants any navigation help in the Indian Ocean region, they'll now come to us. India, please give us help. So, earlier we did not have this. We were dependent upon GPS, geopositioning system, which is of USA, developed by NASA. In IRNSS or NAVIC, we have 7 satellites. This particular, GPS has 24 satellites covering the entire Earth. The Google Maps which we use is on GPS, geopositioning system. Now this is basically the 7 satellites, out of which the 3 will be in the geostationary orbit. Geostationary orbit is an orbit which is 36,000 kilometers from the surface of the Earth, and you'll see the satellite as stationary because that satellite will be rotating with that particular speed with which the Earth is rotating. So you will see it as stationary. Then 4 satellites, the red ones which you are seeing, are in geosynchronous orbit. Geosynchronous orbit, what is geosynchronous orbit? Per se, their path is the geostationary orbit, but they are rotating like this in the geosynchronous orbit. They will be traversing like this. They will be circulating or revolving around the Earth like this in the geostationary orbit only. But additionally, on top of that, they will be rotating like this also in the geostationary orbit. And this particular movement or this particular orbit is named as geosynchronous orbit. Now, applications of NAVIC. Currently, NAVIC is being used in public vehicle tracking in India. Public vehicles like the vehicles of army, vehicles of, I would say, the government of India, like for example, RBI, is responsible for printing money. So money full of trucks, there will be, this NAVIC chip. We have GPS chip. Now we have NAVIC chip in that. So public vehicles tracking. For providing emergency warning alerts to fishermen venturing into deep sea where there is no terrestrial network connectivity. So we give them warnings by using NAVIC, by you are going in international waters. We have a lot of, I would say, conflicts with Pakistan or with Sri Lanka also in this respect, because they cannot fish in their waters, they cannot fish in our waters. So if they are going beyond, then they are given a signal by satellite communication. That satellite communication is NAVIC. Then for tracking and providing information related to natural disasters. Again, this is what was highlighted by the Prime Minister in his speech, that we are using NAVIC in disaster management. When disaster comes, all lines of communication, they are destroyed. And when these lines of communication are destroyed, you need some kind of communication, and that communication happens with the satellites. So that is helping in disaster management. Enabling it in smartphones is the next step India is pushing for. Now in your smartphones, you have Google Maps, which is based on GPS. You may have another application which is based on NAVIC in the times to come, maybe this year, maybe next. I'm hoping that this year onwards, this will start popularly. Significance of NAVIC. It is in line with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's drive for self-reliance, because definitely it releases or it reduces our reliance on America. Just imagine a situation when we are at war with, let's suppose, any country, and we do not have this NAVIC developed. We go to help to USA कि भाई we want to use GPS. So USA can refuse. Then we will be sitting like this and we will not be able to have an edge in that war. So that is going to make a difference. If we have developed our own, we don't need to rely on anyone else. Okay. It is called as NAVIC, Navigation with Indian Constellation. Constellation comprises of 7 satellites as of now, and they are expected to increase in further in future. The Union government wants to reduce dependence on foreign systems, including the widely used US GPS, Global Positioning System, or Geo Positioning System also it is called as. Now, navigation system of other countries, we came to know that US has GPS, India now has NAVIC, but apart from US and India, other countries also have. And from here the question was framed in UPSC Prelims 2023. China's navigation system is Beidou. European Union's navigation system is called as Galileo. Japan's navigation system is called as Quasi-Zenith Satellite System, QZSS. Russia's navigation system is called as GLONASS. India, NAVIC. So these are, I would say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 countries in the world have their own navigation system. 6th being India. So this is navigation system of other countries. The next topic which we are going to discuss, because this was also highlighted by the Prime Minister in his speech to the ISRO scientists, that is Pradhan Mantri Gati Shakti Yojana or Pradhan Mantri Gati Shakti Master Plan for multimodal connectivity. It is a 100 trillion rupees master plan. It was launched in 2020 when we were in the COVID years, 2020-21. It is essentially a digital platform. It is not a scheme per se, but yes, it is a digital platform where 16 ministries have come together. Now just imagine, 16 ministries have come together on a digital platform. What is the aim of this digital platform? To enhance or streamline infrastructure development in the country, multimodal infrastructure development in the country. Now, what was the role for 16 ministries? Now actually just imagine a situation, telecom ministry, is there. Ministry of Road Transport and Highways is there. Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, constructs or builds a road, a good highway, 4-lane, 6-lane, or let's suppose expressway, or whatever highway has been built or constructed by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. But just after, this construction, 2 years after this construction, the Ministry of Telecom people say, yeah, we had a plan to lay the optical fibers. So for that, we'll have to dig the highway. So the efforts of the, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways gone in vain. They'll dig the highway, they'll lay that optical fiber line, and then again reconstruction has to happen, and when God knows when that reconstruction will happen. Another example, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, they plan a highway and everything is done, land acquisition and all is done, but after all they come to know that environmental clearance is not being given. It is not environmentally sustainable to create a road over it. Then that project gets stalled. Then it will linger on. So this particular, I would say, mismanagement or misalignment or less synchronization actually led to, delay in projects or increased cost, unnecessary increased cost on the government. That is why this portal was made, a digital platform where 16 different ministries are there. So let's suppose any project is being planned. Let's suppose the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways is planning an expressway. So they'll come on this platform, they'll float this plan that we are planning this expressway from, let's suppose, place X to place Y. Ministry of Telecom, do you have plans of laying optical fibers? If they say yes, we have, so first you lay, then after that we'll construct the road. Environment Ministry, are you giving clearance? Yes, we are. If you are giving clearance, then we'll move ahead with that. So better synchronization will happen. That is why these 16 ministries have come on this platform. But what is the use of space? Actually, from the space, we are able to, see that, we will get geospatial information from the satellites. Where projects are feasible, from where what can go, what cannot go. Because NAVIC also is giving us geospatial information. If you see or watch closely the last topic which we did, it tells us about everything on the earth from space. That is geospatial. And if we get information about everything on the earth, on the land in India by the satellites, then it will help us to plan infrastructural projects in a better way. So that is what is the use of space in PM Gati Shakti or Infrastructure Development Program. The Integrated Multimodal Network Planning Group will be responsible for unified planning and integration of the proposals. Now this network planning group will be comprising of these 16 ministers or representatives from these 16 ministries. Who has developed this platform? Now this will also, testify that what is the linkage of space with Gati Shakti program. It has been developed by the Bhaskaracharya National Institute for Space Applications and Geoinformatics, BISAG. So it has been developed by a kind of a space agency, because that space agency will be responsible or will be giving or will be having the expertise of giving geospatial information. Geospatial means information about the geography from the space, and from the space means from satellites. This information will be available. Gati Shakti Master Plan, roadways capacity to be increased. Then around 200 new airports, heliports and water aerodromes are envisioned. Multimodal connectivity has to be established, remember. Then railway transport cargo capacity to be increased by 1600 tons by financial year 25. Transmission network to be increased. Renewable energy capacity to be increased to 225 gigawatts. 4G connectivity for villages by financial year 22, around 20 new mega food parks. Now this kind of has been achieved, 4G connectivity. We are not looking to 5G connectivity. So this is what PM Gati Shakti Master Plan is all about. So in this session we have covered the Prime Minister's address to the ISRO scientists, and from that address we have taken out two, I would say, schemes or two master plans. One is this PM Gati Shakti Master Plan, and the second is NAVIC. Two very important topics for the UPSC mains as well as prelims examination. So this is all from today. I'll be meeting you with some more exciting topics tomorrow. You can also mention in the comment section what kind of topics you are willing to see or to learn about. If those will be relevant, definitely I'll be including them. Till then, keep studying, keep reading, keep revising. Jai Hind, we'll see you tomorrow.